the existence of the secular so-called Jewish state of Israel, you have something that's never occurred before in Jewish history. People claiming to be fourth and fifth generation secular and Jewish. Actually, throughout the exile, assimilation was one of the processes that kept the Jewish community observant. And additionally, secular Jews who do not accept beliefs that come along with Judaism identify themselves with what they are not. They think what solidifies their Jewish identity is the fact that they are not Christian. And their hedonism is in a way a form of their religion. They assume that because it is practiced and heartfelt by most Jews, it must be part of Judaism. An example of this is how the Jewish Reform movement publicly condones homosexuality and abortion in our society. All this leads to true anti-Semitism, and the religious Torah Jews end up dying for the sins of the secular. It's a shame that nowadays when non-Jews hear the word Jew, they don't conjure up images of biblical heroes or those who gave monotheism to the world, but rather they think of the most irreligious group of their society, who actually fight tooth and nail to eradicate all traces of anything biblically Judaic from society. We Jews have been fortunate that the current generation has typically decided to love us. However, if we don't fix the problem within our group, that love could easily turn to hate. My friends, Torah Judaism teaches that individuals are born neither good nor bad, but rather with a fleshly inclination towards the selfish and the egotistical. Depending on how far we're willing to sacrifice to control those inclinations is how we acquire our self-worth. The major problem arises that without divine instructions, we only dig a deeper hole for ourselves by rather following the biggest deceiver of all, our heart and our emotions. The problem is that it's pleasurable to be led by your heart. You become the God in your own life. This is what it means when it says, the way that seems right to a man but leads to destruction. Torah true Jews believe that the only lasting effective way to control our nature is dictated to us in God's moral blueprint for humanity, the Torah. And any attempt of self-improvement not based on the latter is doomed to fail. You see, self-worth stems from living a godly life. And those who opt out and choose hedonism should lose honor, glory, and title. And when we fail to be true guardians of the faith, the religiously inactive neither lose honor, glory, nor title, but rather are praised and judged along with the righteous. This is why most Jews are on the left. All these things cause the irreligious to walk around thinking they were chosen by a higher power, not based on what they believe or how they behave, but rather on some superior bloodline. How could you explain secular Jews insisting that their children not marry non-Jews if they themselves state that they don't believe in God? Why? Because they have actually began to believe that being Jewish is a race, and a superior one at that. Actually, if that scenario was applied to any other group who insisted that they were great or special, not due to their beliefs or action, we would call those people racist. My friends, there is no such thing as a Jewish race or ethnicity. Jews come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. And the only constant thing that unites all Jews is the belief in the oneness of our God and the divine authorship of His law. Even conversion could not be embraced by an irreligious Jew, because if someone denies the religious, they would also deny the authority of a religious Beit Din to make a non-Jew into a full Jew through the process of conversion. Just as the results of socialism has taught us, when we receive praise from titles that we have not earned, it ultimately makes us worse. More than worse, it makes us those who begin to hate those who actually believe that being God's appointed actually comes with a religious responsibility. This problem could affect any religion that would begin to remove standards as a prerequisite of membership. We see this with those who spit on soldiers when they arrive from a battlefield and call them baby killers, rather than praising them for doing a good job that, for whatever reason, they could not do for themselves. In the old days, the irreligious admired the faithful. The cowards admired the brave, and when confronted with their weakness, whether physical or spiritual, either remained silent or showered praises on those who chose to sacrifice. This really created the age of entitlement we live in today. The idea that because I exist, I deserve, apart from my belief and my actions. All this, I have explained, has baffled the mind of non-Jews for at least 150 years. They have written books like the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which state that there's some sort of massive Jewish conspiracy to ruin the world. But what they could not fathom was that their children would fall prey to the same sickness. We just have to look at Western Europe today to see how this is not only a Jewish problem. So, how can we fix this? Well, Judaism, like I said before, contains within it tools, not only to repair itself, but to prevent issues like this from arising again. 2 words, my friends: karas and cherem. The failure of implementing karas, cutting off, and cherem, excommunication, has got us into the mess we're in today. So ultimately, the answer to the question why secular Jews are typically on the left is that secular Jews are not Jews. And the failure to acknowledge that has burdened and will continue to burden Jewry throughout the generations. I am a Torah true Jew. I believe in Torah and in the oneness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I believe with every aspect of my being that it is proper to makar of all of humanity to enter under the Shekhinah. Yad chadem tiyeh bo barishona, lo chamisa v'yad kal cha'am b'charona u'v'yarta chara mikarbecha. Until we begin doing as the Torah states, burning the evil from amongst our midst, neither will anti-Semitism cease, nor the Mashiach arrive. Thank you.